Hi, folks. It's Peter Lemieux with Rounding Third and Batter Sports, and I tell baseball stories. Today's baseball story starts with a personal event in my life. June 21st, 1964. Yes, that's a long time ago. I had just completed my sophomore year in high school. June 21st was Father's Day. That meant Dad and I were going to watch the Mets. Sunday, no work. We were delighted when we learned that the Mets were playing a doubleheader against the Phillies. I'm sure the rest of the family was like, oh my gosh, another wasted day. But we hunkered down to watch the Mets. It was their third season in the National League, and they stunk. Okay. 10-team league. They finished 10th in 62, 10th in 63, and they were well on their way to finishing 10th in 64. So we got ready to watch the first game of the doubleheader against the Phillies. The Phillies were pitching a really great pitcher named Jim Bunning. Jim Bunning eventually went into Hall of Fame. It was somewhat meaningful because Jim Bunning, on Father's Day, he was a father of 7 children. And that day, even though it was in New York, Jim Bunning's wife and oldest child attended the game. And we watched Jim Bunning pitch a no-hitter. Not just a no-hitter. Jim Bunning pitched a perfect game on 90 pitches. The Mets got nobody on base. Now, here's my question. Have any of you folks ever actually seen a no-hitter, either personally in the ballpark or watched a game on television? I'm not talking about ESPN where you see the last out or a great catch to save the no-hitter. I mean, watched a no-hitter. It's pretty rare. Okay, very rare that it happens, and even more rare that somebody says, oh, yeah, I saw a no hitter. If you did, congratulations. Well, I saw this no hitter. It was a perfect game. Subsequently, I found out that that day, by pitching a no hitter, Jim Bunning became only the second player in baseball history to have pitched a no hitter in the American League and now the National League. The only other player that had accomplished that to that point in time was Cy Young. Now, a few other players have done it since, but it made me think the rarity of a no hitter, even more rare, a perfect game. Those are really rare. How many people have never seen one? So I said, hey, I'm kind of a bit of a statistics geek, not crazy, but bit of one. I wanted to revisit who, in fact, has the most no hitters in baseball history. Now, a lot of you guys may know this, but I want to just express this. Nolan Ryan, in about 19 years of pitching, has 7 no hitters. Now, that's extraordinary. Okay. What's even more extraordinary is in the history of baseball, the next pitcher with multiple no hitters in their career was Sandy Koufax, who has 4. So 7, 4. Nolan Ryan is just head and shoulders above them. Now, to give credit where credit's due, a player still active has 3. That's Justin Verlander. Bob Feller, Hall of Famer, 3. Cy Young, we've heard of him, 3. Then some guy from the 1800s, I don't even know if we should count him, Larry Corcoran had 3. So my point is, how the heck extraordinary is Nolan Ryan for having pitched 7 no-hitters when nobody else has even had 5? So my brain then went to another category. What about one-hitters? One-hitters is one guy away from a no-hitter. How heartbreaking it is to have a one-hitter where if you'd have got that guy out, you would have had a no-hitter. That's where I really got blown away. Bob Feller, if you remember, Bob Feller sitting here with 3 no-hitters, had 12 one-hitters. Whoa. This guy was really close to ending up with 5 or 6 no-hitters. So hats off to Bob Feller. But then I saw one even blew my mind more. Nolan Ryan has 12 one-hitters. Get that to go into your brain. 7 no-hitters, 12 one-hitters. Nolan Ryan could easily have 11, 12 no-hitters. He had 12 one-hitters. Wow. Great, great credit. One last thing. I thought about the heartbreak of pitching a one-hitter and being 1 out away from not getting a no-hitter. And I found out that there were a few pitchers who pitched one-hitters on subsequent starts. In other words, in English, I pitch a one-hitter. The next time out, I pitch another one-hitter. Oh my gosh. Twice in a row, one guy. So let me just give credit to those people who pitched successive one-hitters. Rube Marquardt of the New York Giants way back in 1911. Lon Warneke of the Chicago Cubs 23 years later in 1934 had successive one-hitters. Another 11 years went by. Mort Cooper of the St. Louis Cardinals had successive one-hitters. Now we get a little more current. People like my age have known or seen these guys. Whitey Ford of the Yankees in 1955 pitched a one-hitter on September 2nd and followed it with a one-hitter on September 7th. 11 years later, Sudden Sam McDowell of the Indians pitched a one-hitter in April 25th. On May 1st, another one-hitter. Then we go up 22 years. Dave Stieb of the Toronto Blue Jays, September 21st, 4th, a one-hitter. September 30th, another one-hitter. More recently, only 13 years ago, R.A. Dickey, pitching for the Mets, pitched a one-hitter on June 13th, a one-hitter on June 18th. Now, I got to point out to you the most heartbreaking of the bunch. Dave Stieb's successive one-hitters. The one hit came with 2 outs in the 9th inning. It happened once, 1 out from a no-hitter. The very next start, he got 26 people out, and wouldn't you know, it happened a second time. He gave up a hit. That's just incredible bad fortune. To Dave Stieb's credit, later on, he did finally get a no-hitter. So my thoughts today are basically about Jim Bunning, perfect game that I got to watch. And then I started looking around and say, how many other no-hitters, one-hitters did people have? And in my research, this little few minutes I'm talking with you, I've just got to step back and say Nolan Ryan was beyond comparison. 7 no-hitters, 12 one-hitters. That is hard for me to comprehend. So that's my tribute. The rarity of the no-hitter. More rare is that people actually get to watch one. Didn't talk about perfect games too much. Maybe that's a story for another day. But I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, please make comments. Have you seen a no-hitter? Tell me about it. Tell me about other things you've seen about no-hitters and one-hitters that you just can't get off your mind, no matter how old you get. I don't forget Jim Bunning's perfect game on Father's Day. Hope you people have a great day. Peter Lemieux from Rounding Third. I'll see you next time around. Bye now.